spring with autumn on your Thursday, which actually feels like a Friday. It's just an observation. So, hope you guys are doing well out there. I just have a couple of points, and both points come from a couple of headliners. And I will say this is not necessarily news, but for those who have been in denial of things such as inflation, more overreach, in the vein of you know government overreach, that's happening. And hello, Tyrant Spain TDOA. I'm trying to give you guys a couple seconds to get in here because I'm on the fly here. But it's two things. I want to mention two things. One, the first line I wanted to mention was that they are now prioritizing, you have states that are actually prioritizing race when it comes to the CV-19 treatments. And of course, you could probably guess at least what one of those states, which state it is. I'll give you one. They're prioritizing it based on race. And the second one, that actually comes from the JBS. So hang over to the JBS and look into just states prioritizing CV-19 treatments, whatever therapeutics or whether it's, whatever it is, whatever the options are, which of course they're trying to schmooze over it in that article. But let me get to the second point and I'll come back to that one. So the second line I just wanted to gab on was the $600. The $600 bit is back in the news, and I think it's coming. I'm hearing it's a derivative from the American Rescue Plan. It's funny how all of these plans have all these righteous or noble kinds of noble names, when in fact they do the opposite, or they do something much more, tyrannical, or, to the people. But $600 seems to be the trigger. I think anything over $600 that's gained, which if you're a small business, I think those standards have changed just in time for tax season. I think this is effective January 1 of 2022. If you are using Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, and you're in excess of $600, I think, in your transactions, I think you're going to be receiving a 1099, or you're going to need to report those earnings. So, what do they say? When it rains, it pours. I mean, I remember a time back at the beginning of the pandemic in which many businesses in SoCal were not allowed to be open, and I think a lot of people were using, a lot of small businesses were using, whether it was the Square device or whether it was Cash App, I think they were using that to maintain or to sustain them through the multiple lockdowns and the multiple closures, or being non-essential. I think that those businesses, whether they were barber shops, salons, nail salons, you know those devices, those third party devices helped help those people stay in business. I'm not saying, I'm not advocating for anybody to break laws or whatnot, but hello to Marcy T and Bohan. Thank you guys so much for coming in, as well as TDOA. Thank you guys so much for coming in. So it's those two lines. So the thing about it is, you hear fair share and all of this stuff. They want to make sure, the IRS wants to make sure that you're paying your fair share of taxes, and not to mention that Build Back Better plan is going to trigger a lot more. So you're really into this Orwellian, Big Brother is watching everything that you do. So at first it was about the corporations and the big guys not paying their, they gaslighted you on them not paying their fair share. Now look who they're concerned about paying their fair share. It's on the people. It's back to the people. They got to make sure that you're paying your fair share and that you're not getting over. But like I said, everything that they use, every phrase, every euphemism, inflation, devaluing the dollar. All of these euphemisms end up coming back to something that's going to, you know, destabilize or make life, you're going to be less free and less invaded. You're going to get there's an invasion of your accounts. In fact, the big banks, I'm even hearing that those banks are going to be a little bit more, the regulations put on the larger banks are going to be, a lot more prevalent. So I'm thinking, especially if they are able to, what are these Congress crap people they're doing? They're trying to find a way to get that bill to pass that. And it will certainly be, it'll be, you won't be able to do anything. You won't, without all eyes on you. You just won't be able to. So, yeah, so that's for your Venmo, your Cash App, your PayPal transactions at 600 and above. You're going to have to report those. Now, not to say that you weren't responsible for reporting those before, but they have changed this. The American Rescue Plan, with all the child, tax credits and all this stuff, it just ends up, it spells disaster for small businesses. I think it's more of an attack. It's more geared to, to surveil them and to, I think, and really kind of put some of these businesses down that they're already struggling. They've been struggling this entire time. So those were my thoughts on that. So yeah, if you're doing any type of, if you start a home business or something, you're going to have to deal with that on the IRS side. So let's go back to the states prioritizing CV-19 treatments based on race. Okay, so of course, one of the representatives, of course, out of New York, they're saying that, oh, that's coming directly from the CDC. And do you see how we're in a system of bureaucrats? To me, are the bureaucrats writing these bills? Are they the ones that are writing the laws? It looks like it to me. Because, you know, when I open up, that came out of the JBS, the JBS.com, is where you can find that particular story. But, I've said this, I've kind of, dare I say, I've woken up to this. I've kind of warned people about, this whole thing, this putting black on the front of everything. And because it's basically, to me, it's like they made you. If you submit, or if you're out here holding the banner up and doing this and that, and oh, you love your blackness, you love this. Nobody's saying that you don't have self-pride or love yourself. That's not what I'm saying at all. Well, they're starting to reduce you again. In that same particular article, black people are being referred to as non-white people. You've been reduced to non-white people and Hispanics. Hispanics, they didn't water that name down, but I'm telling you, this whole thing about blackness is being destroyed right before your very eyes. And not only have you been controlled by it, when they say it's over, it's over. So I'm saying, frankly, they're getting ready to pull the plug on this whole blackness thing. And now you've been reduced to non-white people, non-white persons. You're being described that way based on their studies and their statistics when it comes to these treatments in which you're going to be prioritized for. See, at first, this guy out of New York, I can't think of his name right now, but check the JBS. He's basically saying that, oh, well, the systemic racism and has caused, we recognize that, but these considerations are coming from the CDC. Well, I mean, who elected the CDC? I mean, why do you see, this is coming, most of the things that are coming down now regarding public health, these policies, to me, look to be, the lobbyists, these people are writing the laws and they're running the roost. They weren't elected to do that. So you have them basically saying who gets priority, when it comes to treatment. So they said it's race because of systemic inequities and racism, and then it's also age, and they throwing everything in the kitchen sink, but that is number one. And it of course it's unconstitutional, it's on all of these things, but do they care? It's just, it's not about that. It's about them getting their agenda and getting and serving the interests that they serve. So you're going to be, if you're in New York, and there's one other state named in this particular article from the JBS, check it out. I'll try to get it out to you. But if you're in that particular area, that's where you're going to be prioritized for your monoclonal treatments, I guess, what other therapeutics that there are, that those are, that's who is being prioritized there. But like I said, I think eventually they're going to be telling people eventually they're going to say there is no racism. But you can only say that until they're ready for you to say that. Okay. And I'm saying that for Black people, they are basically, you've already been reduced as of January 2022, non-white people. Non-white. They tell you when you get to be Black, what it means to be Black, and they tell you when it's over. And they're getting ready to tell you that it's over. Your whole struggle is over. Your civil rights, that strife, that struggle is about to be over. Because you don't know why? It's for the reason that I've been warning, is because you never controlled what it meant to be Black in the first place. You never did. You never did. So that's why I don't champion that on the front of anything. Because if I can't validate it, if it's not mine, then how can I control what my destiny is? How can I control whether it's strong or whether it's weak? How can I do that if it's being controlled by politicians and committees? And if those are the people, the elite, and these Ivy League people are the ones, to me. And like I've told you, even if I go into the whole college realm, I'm going off a little bit of a tangent, but somehow I do think that these things work together. Even when you go to these colleges, it's the elite and the white liberals who basically co-sign for anything to become an academic worthy study of academic study. If they say, ice crystals, Black ice crystals are worthy of being a professional study, a study you can do in college, then that's when it gets the support, and that's when everybody accepts it. Oh, I'm going to major in, Black ice crystals, or, it's even, you can, all of it. You can go back to even, you can think about, when I think about jazz, that had to go through the liberal cross check, I would imagine, before it became an academic subject that you could have a profession in. And I didn't say anything about lesbian underwater basket weaving. I didn't say anything about that. But it's the same. I think that would come about the same way, not necessarily related to race, but I'm saying the liberals control everything. Academia, what it means to have a professional career, when something becomes, academically worthy, they tell us what's worthy of having a profession named after, a profession of study. That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm talking about. But they are erasing, they're redefining all of that. There's going to be a whole new, I think the word Black's going to be going out pretty soon. So that's why I'm just trying to people, you need to get comfortable. You need to get comfortable in your own skin and standing alone. You need to get comfortable in it, because that's going away. They're erasing that. Slowly but surely. Now you've been reduced to Look at that. I mean, and here's another tangent. Look at that mayor up out of New York. He's basically referring to line cooks and shoe shiners as basically people who don't have the, I guess they're not really, I mean, how does he know what anybody's capability of? They don't have the academic experience or the academic whatever schmooze to be in a corner at a cubicle. You know, some of the smartest people that I know didn't go to college. And some of these people will put any, I mean, you're a big fish in a small pond, for crying out loud. But to them, to the elite, that's their corporate plantation. So they got to make you feel inferior to get you to get on it, or to say that's why you need to be on it. But then, they have their other people. I was telling somebody the other day, I said, it's amazing how everybody that encouraged me, i.e., to go to college, these people didn't have a degree themselves. So how did I manage to allow people that didn't have what they were telling me I should get? How did that happen? How does that work? But what I'm saying is, I said all that, I'm off on a tangent, is that the blackness is being erased. You're a non-white person. And I think that's going to be that's another pot. Think about how many people you can cram in a pot under non-white person. Think about how much stuff they'll be able to shove, how many groups of people they'll be able to put in that. And they'll soon say, hey, well, there's no racism. It's just non-white people. What are you talking about? It's just non-white people. And if you're non-white, you don't have to wait for your monoclonal antibodies, or you don't have to wait for your, I don't know, what is it? Dare I say remdesivir, one of these drugs. I don't know, but I'm saying that's what's happening. And anytime that they're pushing and they put black people on the front of something, you got to know it smells. It's gonna reek. I mean, if you're awake, you already know. You already know. So yeah, check those stories out if it's of interest to you. I guess if you're in the New York area, I cannot, for whatever reason, the other state escapes me right now, but I imagine others will follow suit, because everybody's all about these iniquities, the systemic this, the systemic that. Yeah, so that's kind of what's going on there. I'm not sure about what the overwhelming, what the numbers are in terms of, CV or Omicron. I don't know what that looks like in terms of the other, the what's going on right now with these outbreaks or breakthroughs, or what are they calling this stuff these days? Let me stop and read some comments. I really appreciate you guys so much for coming in. It's always a pleasure to have you guys here. Let's see. I think I saw Marcy T, and Tired Spade TOA is here. And Marcy T says I have to pick up my granddaughter in a minute. Thank you for coming in, Marcy T. Thank you. And Bohan Stefanovic, thank you very much. And Friends in Code is here. Risen Ability is here. TMK Media, how are you? Good afternoon to you. And Risen Ability said, that's what I want to learn. Underwater basket weaving. Hi, Angry Conservative, as well as Alex Bleeping Jones. So yeah, so check out those stories. Hi, Nick Smith, how are you? Check out the story on the $600 from the Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and where that's going to leave you on your taxes. Because they said that was already something that was approved under the American Rescue Plan. So you guys, you see how all this stuff gets chalked into these bills? And they always give it a virtuous name or a righteous name, like Planned Parenthood and American Rescue Plan or the Build Back Better Plan. You see how something about that, how it never really pans out that way. They always, that's what they do. That's what they do. And then the second story we were talking about was it comes from the JBS, is that the state, you've got a couple of states that are prioritizing CV-19 treatments via race right now. So we'll see how long that lasts. I would imagine that pretty soon, for those of you who are holding on to this, to the black stuff, pretty soon they are going to probably remove, I would imagine they're going to probably end up removing, they might even remove black from the from stats or demographic kind of pages, and just have non-white person. And there's, just think about it, they're setting the algorithms and everything. You see how this is shaping up. They're going to train all the algorithms and all of the AI to group people. And I'm saying that's my contention, is that's what they're getting ready to do. They're getting ready to erase all of this. I would probably say in a couple of years, you're not even going to be referring to yourself as black. You're going to be in a bigger pot, because they've got to put all the, I noticed that they said non-white person or Hispanic in that particular article. Now that comes out of the JBS. But I'm just saying, bills matter. What's in these bills actually matter. So, the American Rescue Plan, who would have thought that the American Rescue Plan would trigger a 1099 or over $600 to be reported. But that's also I think something that was a part of the Build Back Better plan as well. So just check out those articles, and just for you to get it. Who else is here? Derek C. Williams is here. I'm telling you, Derek C. Williams, it's Derek C. Williams says the common cold is one of the members of the CV family. I knew that 2 years ago. It's cold season, and idiots are taking a cold test. That's flawed. And Joseph Francis Burton says, my mom is Mexican. I should qualify as Latinx. Preach. Angry Conservative says, you should have listened to the Matt Gaetz and MTG press conference today. I'll have to dig that one up. Joseph Francis Burton says, I want BIPOC on the ballot just for laughs. But I'm telling you, I do believe that they are getting ready to erase not only struggle, they're getting ready to erase an entire ethnicity of people. Because to me, black is a broad brush, but it's not very specific. It's not when it comes to ethnicity or even attributes of an ethnicity. Yeah. So I'm just thinking, so a non-white person, which I just think that's loaded. That's even more loaded than saying black. What do I know? I'm not on their committees. I'm not, it's the elite that makes the rules. Derek C. Williams says, I am a native-born black guy from Mississippi, son of Connie and Jimmy. There's my immediate genealogy right there. Well, we're glad you're here, Derek C. Williams. I really appreciate you and your presence for being here. And, yeah, well, I mean, and I try not to, I don't go into a lot of specifics. I know people want to be prideful and they think certain things they think that they could reimagine many things and turn that into like black pride, and it's kind of a bit, but that's not their intent. Okay. You gotta find some, you gotta find some humility in what's going on, in what you're doing. And it has to be substance there. You can't, but I'm thinking that they're getting ready to erase the struggle, that it won't even be, and I don't think African Americans gonna be on demographic sheets anymore. I think all that's getting ready to change. and the algorithms will be set to that. And to me, it's just another way of discriminating against people. But it's a quicker way, I think, of grouping people together. Because if you just go down to non-whites, and then you have Hispanics over here. So you have what, 3 choices? Non-white, Hispanic, and then because but you notice that here's another hypothesis of mine. The Hispanics will be allowed to maintain. They'll maintain Latino or Hispanic, but the blacks are going to be reduced again. They're going to be reduced to non-white people. And I guess, I don't know, what does that mean for Black History Month? I don't know. I don't know. But you're going to be prioritized in these ERs. And, this is the dark winter. We talked, what was it? Operation Dark Winter. We went over this before. Is this shaping up to be that to you guys? Operation Dark Winter. Because this weather is a total bipolar express right about now. And when it's cold, it is cold. I mean, I'm hearing about it from all parts of the country. Yeah, it's cold. You don't even get, it's like a snap of a finger cold. And, this administration, if I can call them that, they have Biden predicted a dark winter during the running, when he was running. So how would he know that? How would he know that? In fact, I mean, I had a power outage yesterday. Half power, not half power, half power on, half power off. It's all coming. It's all coming. But we little conspiracy theorists, we just we're just golden, I guess. And you guys know it too. You guys on this channel are always abreast of what's going on. Angry Conservative says, here you go, because I streamed it on my political channel. Perfect. Thank you, Angry Conservative. I appreciate that. So yeah, look into those liners. But I expect to see more. I expect to see a bit of a washing of the blackness. They're washing that out. They're starting to wash it out. It's in their language. Language matters. Language matters. And today is the very infamous J6. I haven't watched any of that because I had to go to work. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think things are just going to kind of stay on the weird. It's going to stay weird. Yeah. So, hope you guys are doing well out there. So I'm going to say a final salute to everybody in the stream. Oh, Derek C. Williams says, a purge of hue. I know. And there's a lot of sick people right now. And notice, here's another thing. Every time I say I'm leaving, I think of something else. This is, not super organized, but maybe you'll find something stimulating or something interesting in here. But I noticed that all of most of the children's medicine, or even just regular, the adult cold medicine aisles are absolutely depleted right now. I noticed that. And, but they don't give you any warning. You just kind of stumble on to, one rack, the next rack, maybe one row of something with a few things sprinkled in there. And then one rack. I mean, the supplies are gone. Like, yeah. And even the urgent care aren't open. So I don't know what's going on in your guys' neck of the woods. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, I mean, these things were on my mind. I thought that, the Venmo, Cash App, PayPal deal, I thought, wow, how many are they going to flag the congressmen and women's accounts for spending or doing transactions over $600? I'm just saying, I have a message here from Derek C. Williams. Derek C. Williams says, I miss saying, so, quote, so Black Spring with Autumn, could you put this link in the stream for me? Confirmed many of my former moderators were intimidated by you, but they felt I favored you. Yes, and wait, I'm sorry. I'm looking. You know, I'm starting to see what they mean by getting older. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss something here. Let's see. Well, I had no problem putting links in the stream, and you can put whatever links in this stream that you want. In fact, share if you want to share any of your Discord information. Anybody out there with a Discord server, feel free to drop that into the link right now, because I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll probably get back with you guys sometime this weekend for sure. And more likely it'll be Saturday. I'll get back with you guys, and maybe we can go over some specifics. But yeah, but I'm just saying, you notice how for everything that they can't pass directly, it's already shoved into, I think there's pieces of that Build Back Better plan probably in just about any legislation that has come out. It's already in the works, because they've got the 2022 tax season sewn up right now. That's exactly what they've got. And that's why I was saying, these bills are so heavy, over 2,600 pages or better, but they keep coming out. The American Rescue Plan, I think, also supposedly, allegedly included the children, those tax credits and that kind of a bit. I think that's in that plan as well. Yeah, so that's a whole lot of spending was in that. But for you small businesses, you're getting the hammer. Slowly dropping the hammer. And yeah, so we'll see what happens. So one last time, I'm going through here and say hello to everybody. I appreciate you guys so much for dropping in. Tyrant's Bane TDOA. Marcy T, hope you're doing well out there. Bohan Stevanovic. Reasonability, Friends in Code. Nick Smith, Angry Conservative. Alex Leaping Jones. Joseph Francis Burden, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. And Derek C. Williams, none other than Derek C. Williams. Thank you, Derek C. Williams. And yeah, but it's kind of interesting how history repeats itself under the auspices of, silencing opposition, or, it's interesting how things are repeating themselves. Like, that's when I think about it, and this is the context I'll use this in. Racist. Don't you think it's kind of racist to deconstruct people, that you deconstruct people's ethnicities? You in many ways, I think these people think that they made you, but then they can break you down whenever what is it, the saying that goes, in some cases, I brought you into this world, I'll take you out. If you're made by liberals, then they can break you, right? I'm thinking that's not only is that true, but that's exactly what they're doing. And that's whether they're black or white liberals. They will, if they think they made you, they can destroy you just the same, or morph you into something else. Just keep morphing you, and so you'll be, before you know it, you don't exist anymore. You're just a pile of words. Yeah. Well, but to me, I even think that's kind of a complex, like I also, like some people think they give, like, what is it? The other is just a parable or something biblical. It says, the Lord, he giveth and he taketh away. And I think these people have that complex. They think they give you, I think they think they actually give life on some level. They think they can give it, and they think they can take it away. Just saying, you know, I'm going out on a limb here. But I am going to let you guys go. And I want to thank you guys so much again for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. So I think we're going to see more of this. I think 2022 is, it's, you know, it's going full speed ahead. Derek C. Williams, thank you so much again. Joseph Francis Burton says, I have 18 employees. I nearly lost it, but so far, so good in the last year. Let's see. Thank you, Tyrant Spain, TDOA. Thank you so much for being a supporter. Yes, and I'm catching up. I always catch up on your lives or your videos, even if I miss them or I come in, or sometimes if I'm in the background, I'm either working or something, but I'm around. So that goes for everybody. So yeah, Tyrant Spain, if you want to drop your handle for your Discord, you're welcome to do that. Any links you guys put out there, I will grab them. But I'm going to get going for now. And I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys take care, and I will see you later.